bigger than the other ones there, and if you put in lots of artificial food, those creatures will grow even bigger. We set up camp at the place where the buffalo disappeared, but conditions have already changed. What are your first impressions of the water, Rick?
Murky. Really murky. A bit tough. Yeah. It's so brown. We're a little late, aren't we? The runoff has begun, and it's going to be difficult to see anything in that water.
I brought this guy here halfway around the world from California to a river that just looks like soup, and what he must be thinking, I just don't know. I knew that the visibility here, is not good at the best of times, but it is really murky now, and it's just so disappointing to hear him say there is absolutely no way he's going to get in the water. There's just no point. You can see about this far in front of your face. Rain and snowmelt have coloured the water. The monsoons are starting sooner than we thought.
You earned it.
After a couple of days, the water has still not cleared. And after another day of hanging on, well, there's just no point Rick being here. And he decides to leave. Okay, Jeremy. Well, good luck. Have a good journey. So now it's back to the rod again, I guess. Being on my own again really makes me feel the remoteness of this place and the sheer enormity of what I've got to do, because Rick and I have just thrown everything at this, and we haven't so much as had a glimpse of this killer fish. So in a way I just feel as if I'm back where I started. I've just come full circle. It's back to a line in the water. I've got to know this river. I've heard the horror stories, seen the evidence for myself. I've worked out what the Seuss is, what it looks like, and where it lives. The next step is to try and fish one out. I have at least got a much clearer idea of what I'm dealing with now, but it's still a needle in a haystack. And the monsoon is fast approaching. I can feel the air pressure building, and you've got these clouds boiling up. And, if the rains come, I could be stranded here, and that, really focuses the mind. The brown water that sent Rick home is getting worse, and the water level is beginning to rise. I've just got to get cracking. I've got to get a bait in the water in front of something, and it hasn't happened yet. There is still time, but the pressure is not just the atmospheric pressure, the pressure is building. But this rising water has got the goonch biting, and I'm quickly into some fish. That is a goonch. It's not a very big one. Each catch gives me data on these fish, like how big their mouth is in relation to body size. Information that will help me calculate how big a man-eating goonch really needs to be. Look at the length of the tentacles on the tail. Vibrations, smells, everything associated with these riverside funerals. So I'm building a simulated funeral pyre to try and call the creature in. That night, nothing stirs. But in the morning, it's in the fast water. Something very powerful on here. Try and relax and keep a bit calm. Gaining a tiny bit of line. Right, the water is flowing this way now. I've got it into the water that's flowing this way. I have been fishing long enough that I've developed a kind of sixth sense. I know when I have a big fish on, and this is a big fish. It's gone, no, it's gone. It's a lot of line out and some very strong water the other side of it. So the big problem here is that if it gets out of this pool, I am never going to be able to pull this fish back up against this current. Very touch and go, very touch and go. And then it does exactly what I didn't want it to do. I'm going to have to go for a swim. I don't know what I'm thinking, apart from being desperate not to lose this fish, regardless of my own safety. Wait till it comes up. Wait. Now! That is a serious sized goat. That is a man-sized animal. That is as big as a person. It is bigger than a lot of people around here. That is a big fish. They do exist. The goats do exist. 6 foot of muscle behind that mouth, and those teeth are just like shark teeth pointing back. If that got hold of you, there'd be no getting away. When I was diving with Rick, and we were seeing these beasts under the water, and they just look so otherworldly. Is it a hallucination? Do these things really exist? And yes, the goonch does exist. Just the absolute perfect predator. Huge mouth on there. Huge mouth. And if anything just comes down within range of that mouth, it's too late. I mean, big as this fish is, the fish that is taking people would be bigger than this. I mean, it wouldn't actually need to be more than a couple of feet longer, but that would really give it a bit more weight. I mean, it would probably weigh twice as much as this. And, you know, just the thought of that is quite terrifying. Okay, is it off the ground?
Now, yes.
Okay, 166, 161 pounds. The description given by Surendra Bora of the creature as an elongated pig easily corresponds with the smooth, scaleless back of the goonch. Kesar Singh's statement that he saw a black shape also matches. And the sucking force caused by the opening of a vast mouth that Jogar Singh talks about, that also matches. I think that what the eyewitnesses saw was not an elongated pig, not a mythical creature, the Seuss, but this, the giant devil catfish, a monster-sized goonch fattened on human remains. I think it's time he went back in the water. He's starting to recover. Back in the water just to get the last little bit of energy, and then back home, I think. For me and the fish. Goonch catfish are now very rare. This monster's not the Kali killer. Even at 161 pounds, it's just not big enough. I came to prove that giant catfish exist here, and I've done that. I never set out to persecute these amazing animals. Taking a long time.
And the people here feel very much the same.